Welcome back to the Suraj Podcast. In the previous episode, we heard the discussion between Guru Arjan and the Emperor Jahangir, and how, following that discussion, Chandu then convinced Jahangir to let him imprison Guru Arjan under the pretenses that under Chandu's control, he'll be able to get the $200,000 tax that was levied on Guru Arjan. So as Guru Arjan was leaving the court, Chandu then had his men capture Guru Arjan and the 5-6. They were brought to Chandu's house, the 5-6 being Bidichan, Jetha, Langaha, Pirana, and Pada. They were tied up and they were bound at the gate of Chandu's property. And Guru Arjan was imprisoned inside Chandu's house. So chapter 34 now begins describing how the night passed. Guru Arjan and the 6 were tied up and they were not allowed to sleep. In the morning, Jahangir and his army were preparing to set off for Delhi. Chandu woke up in the morning and he went to go see the emperor and the top ministers. He asked for leave from his job for 4 days. He said that he had some work to do in Lahore. He was finishing this up. And then after that, he would come to Delhi to meet with the emperor again. And in these 4 days, he was thinking in his head, that he would torture Guru Arjan, get the money, and then bring it to Jahangir in Delhi. He didn't say that to Jahangir. What he said to Jahangir was that, there was administrative work he had to complete, accounts to finalize in regard to the crops, calculating revenue, etc. Jahangir was like, whatever, nodded at this. He didn't think about the Guru after this anyways. He was too busy with his duties and he was just engrossed in worldly pleasure, and he was prepping to head off to Delhi. So he wasn't really in the know of what was going on with the Gurus even before this. No one really brought the Guru's mission up to him at all. The only thing he really heard were the bad things coming from Chandu. The elite amongst the Turks in the empire were also just engrossed in vice and didn't care for such things. Chandu at that point went to go meet with these elites, the high-ranking officials. He would bribe some of them, telling them not to speak about Guru Arjan, and if anyone brought up Guru Arjan's imprisonment, to dismiss it and void the subject. He persuaded many of these people with bribes, and others he just persuaded by, his convincing words. And so he had essentially created like this iron wall so that no info or news would reach the emperor during these next few days where he was going to torture Guru Arjan. So Chandu got really pumped up about this, thinking how now he's in control. Everyone important in the emperor's inner circle was on his side. So he went back to his home. He sat in front of Guru Arjan, and Chandu then was just beaming with anger, looking at Guru Arjan. He said to him, "So you denied the wedding request between my daughter and your son. Why did you not agree to this after my request? I sent this request twice to you and no response. I was so anxious about this that I got no response. And when I did get a response, what did I hear? I heard that you called me a dog? But even then, don't worry. You can still make things right if you agree to this marriage between my daughter and your son Hargobind. Otherwise, just like you've called me a dog, I'll constantly follow you around, giving you grief. Be sure of that. But now tell me, give me a response. Or should I try other means to get you to agree? Should I get the wedding preparations ready, or should I get prepared to kill you?" Fearlessly, Guru Arjan responded, "Why do you want so badly to give your daughter in marriage to my son? You're from a very high caste of Khatris, and we are from a very low family. It only makes sense to match in status, and have the low with the low and the high with the high. Everyone knows this in the world, that you match people where there's a fit. So I'll say it now, as I've said before, that this marriage won't work. But I did not say you were a dog. But even if I didn't then, I will say it now. It was the Sikh congregation in Delhi who said you were a dog. But if they said it, well then, I said it, because there is no difference between me and the Sikh congregation." Listening to this, Chandu was infuriated. His eyes went red, and immediately he called over his guards. "Don't let him eat, don't let him drink anything, and don't let him sleep. When he's extremely thirsty, we'll give him water, only if he gives us 100,000 rupees. And if he wants anything to eat, well then, we'll charge him another 100,000 rupees. And if he wants to sleep, well then we'll charge him another 100,000 after that too. He's so arrogant, and if he doesn't humble himself in front of us, then we'll make him die right here. Listen, Guru Arjan, have firm faith in this. Either you agree to this marriage, or you'll die right here. Listening to this, Guru Arjan then responded, I'm not going to eat, drink, anything from your house, let alone sleep here. I'll sit here, and you do whatever you want. At that point, Chandu said more harsh words to Guru Arjan, and told his guards to be attentive and alert, not letting the Guru sleep, eat, or drink anything. The other 5 Sikhs were also bound up in chains, and they weren't allowed to talk. They weren't allowed to come near Guru Arjan at all either. They were forced to sit, and they weren't allowed to stand up or lay down. So the vile and evil Chandu said this and then went inside his residence. So the day passed like this, with the Sikhs and Guru Arjan not being allowed to eat, drink, anything. Mind you, this was in the peak of summertime as well, so it was extremely hot. The Sikhs in Lahore at this time were also wondering where Guru Arjan went. They knew he had come to the court of Jahangir, but he had not come back from that. So they were searching the city. They were thinking maybe he went to a Sikh's house. So they're going around all the Sikh families. They were seeing if Guru Arjan was at one of their houses. They were checking the local gurdwaras as well to making sure that Guru Arjan was not there. Some of them thought maybe he had just gone back to Amritsar without telling us. So there's great confusion of this. And then somebody told the Sikhs that they had seen Guru Arjan with some Sikhs go to Chandu's house late at night by force. So some Sikhs went there to see, and they ended up seeing one of the 5 Sikhs was reciting Gurbani inside. And when they saw that they were all bound, as the Sikh was reciting Gurbani, one of the guards came over and started yelling at him, telling him to stop. And then when they saw this, the guards then looked at them, like the Sikhs outside the gate, and the guards started yelling at them, saying, go home, there's nothing to see here. So all the Sikhs got together then at somebody's house, and they're trying to figure out a plan what to do here. But back at the house of Chandu came out of his residence. He went back to Guru Arjan and said to him, so you can still accept this wedding proposal. Otherwise, you'll die right here. I've been burning with anxiety, thinking about my daughter's marriage for so long. I'm going to make you suffer just like that. And you're still not afraid, huh? So guards, go bring a large cauldron and boil some water. Just like how I've been burning with anxiety, I'm going to make you burn too. So either accept the wedding or get ready to die. The guards went and brought a big cauldron and began lighting a fire underneath it to boil the water. As they were lighting the fire, getting it hotter and hotter, Chandu kept asking Guru Arjan if he would accept the marriage or not. Guru Arjan didn't say anything in response and was just remembering the curse that the very wise Brahmgyani Kanna said to him. Guru Arjan then replied saying, why are you trying to frighten me? I'll tell you just like I told you before. I'm not going to accept this marriage proposal. So if you want to kill me, then just kill me. But realize that whatever pain you subject me to here, you'll suffer the same pain at the end of your life. The sins that you commit here in anger, death will grab you with that same anger and throw you into hell. Chandu replied saying, oh, you're teaching me about wisdom now after calling me a dog? Well, you're going to get the fruit for that, saying that. I'm going to give you a punishment and take your life from you as well. Guru Arjan replied saying, even if I didn't say that, then Chandu, you can do what you want. Then Chandu said to his guard, he said, throw Guru Arjan in the water. Guru Arjan heard this and he himself got up and sat in the boiling water. The 5 Sikhs could see what was happening from outside and they started yelling. But Anna got up at that point and tried running towards Guru Arjan, but the guards just grabbed him. They grabbed him, they hit him down with their sticks. Guru Arjan from the cauldron yelled out to the Sikhs saying not to come close. He said, I'm boiling the roots of the enemies right now. I realize that I'm going to leave my body soon, so why are you going to pain yourself by attempting to get me out? Purana just couldn't accept this. He clasped his hands together and said, "Oh Prabhuji, oh Master, I cannot bear to see you like this, seeing you in this pain. Command me, Guru Arjan. I'll grab Lahore with one hand, I'll grab Delhi with the other hand, I'll smash both of these cities together right away. Why are you bearing this pain? Just give me a sign and I'll crush these cities together." Guru Arjan heard this and said, "Oh Purana, tell me, where did you get this power from even to do that?" Purana said to Guru Arjan, "I got these powers serving you from your grace. And what is Chandu to us? I'll destroy the entire empire. No one will even remember their name." Guru Arjan heard this and said, "Well, if you got these powers from me, these powers which you in arrogance want to destroy the cities, do you not think that I also have these powers? If you do believe I have these powers, then you should just sit, watch, and not say anything. If you don't think I have these powers, then you'll lose all your powers and you'll regret all of this. I am the cause of all action. You have not understood this yet." Purana was greatly upset and then went quiet. He lowered his head and didn't say a word. Guru Arjan remained in that cauldron while the guards were making the water more and more hot. But the fire god Agni, he was afraid. He didn't want any part of this vicious act, so he changed his own nature and went cold, such that Guru Arjan didn't feel any heat in the water. Guru Arjan sat in this water for some time until the idiot Chandu then finally had the guards lift Guru Arjan out of the cauldron. Chandu went back to his room. The idiot didn't recognize the greatness of Guru Arjan Dev Ji. Chandu's daughter-in-law was actually a devout Sikh. She heard of the torture that was occurring within her house and she was shocked. She was thinking, "Good Lord, my life must be cursed. If I'm living in the household that is enacting this type of vicious, unjust act on the Guru of the world." It struck her so hard that the Guru had not eaten anything, he's not, drank anything, he's not slept. So she wanted to go there and help Guru Arjan. So she reached there where the guards were. She called one of the guards over and bribed him with some jewelry. She told him, "Don't tell anyone that I was here. I just want to meet Guru Arjan very quickly. I'll be back right away." So she pleaded with the guards saying that, "My sinful father-in-law will kick me out of the house if he finds out. So please don't tell anybody." The guard was persuaded because of his greed and let her through. As she approached Guru Arjan, she began to cry and requested that Guru Arjan please drink the water that she brought. She said, "I brought food and water. Please drink and eat these. I am the daughter of this sinful Chandu. I am not fitting for this household. I had no idea they would do this type of vicious sin. But please recognize me as your Sikh and please bless me like you do the other Sikhs." Looking at the daughter-in-law, Guru Arjan then said, "Amazing that you've been able to keep this type of love for the Guru's house even amongst this family. But if you wish for emancipation, then you should kill yourself and die with me. We will tear the roots of Chandu's lineage apart, and when he dies, he'll be thrown into hell. Revenge will be enacted in this life as well. He'll die a terrible death. His whole house will be ruined very quickly. He'll not find rest anywhere. His whole family will not find any support, and they'll be submerged in pain, constantly crying. But keep this to yourself. Don't bear this pain with them. Leave your body when I pass. And I will not eat or drink anything from this household. So please, take this food and water back." Listening to all of this, the daughter-in-law agreed, and she committed to ending her life as well. She said back to Guru Arjan, "I will do this. Please take me along with you to the afterlife when we pass away." So Guru Arjan didn't take any of the food or water, and she went back to the house with all of it, thinking about the discussion she just had with Guru Arjan and understanding that the end of her life was approaching. But she was really upset about everything that was happening. Meanwhile, Guru Arjan spent the night sitting down, as he wasn't allowed to lay down, and in the morning of the next day, of the second day, Chandu then thought that Guru Arjan didn't really react to the hot water. He was wondering why the water didn't get hot enough to burn him properly. So now he thought that he'll pour burning sand on top of Guru Arjan. So he was thinking about this while eating his breakfast. And as he got up and he went toward where Guru Arjan was housed, he saw at the gate there was a gathering of Sikhs there, hoping to get a glimpse of Guru Arjan. And he told the guards to hit them back and send them away. So the guards then went to work on a few of the Sikhs there, smashing them with their sticks. And the Sikhs at that point left. Chandu then comes towards Guru Arjan and sits down and says, "So that fruit for calling me a dog, you think you've received that yet or not? If you think you've received punishment yet, just wait until what we have in store for you today. Trust me, I don't lie. I could give you the worst pain, or I could release you today if you agree to the wedding. So you're so arrogant about your wealth, eh? I'll confiscate that as well. But first, I'll kill you and your son. But if you recognize the wedding, I'll let you out." So after saying this, Chandu got a sand foundry worker to bring some sand, which Chandu then inspected and then commanded that he heat it up. So he heated it up with some fire and only brought it out of the foundry when it was extremely hot. And it was the month of Jeth, which is around mid-May to mid-June, so it was extremely hot outside. Guru Arjan had not drank any water in several days now. So when Chandu finally saw the sand was at its hottest, he basically opened up the doors to hell for himself by sending somebody to bring Guru Arjan outside of the house. Guru Arjan wasn't fazed at all. He wasn't afraid. He was just enjoying the divine's blissful nature, and he didn't really care at all what was happening. When Guru Arjan got there, Chandu said to him, "Just like you had my chest burning with anxiety, I'm going to burn you. And now you're all quiet, eh? You can't say anything? So now you've become all wise, a Brahmgyani, but remember you called me a dog before, so now you'll burn for that." Guru Arjan then replied, just before they started to pour the hot sand on them, and they said, "Oh, you idiot and unfortunate one, you're not thinking about what you're saying right now. You are just a dog barking out like a lowly shop owner. You're about to ruin yourself and your entire lineage. You're going to the worst of all hells, and you'll suffer in great pain. You'll die a painful death soon because of this. I'm going to be passing away anyways now. My time is near, and I know this." And in saying this, the foundry worker then poured the extremely hot sand over Guru Arjan. Langaha and Purana saw this and they couldn't stand it. They ran towards Guru Arjan, hoping the sand would be poured over them and not over Guru Arjan. They wished that they be sacrificed instead of Guru Arjan. And they thought what a wonderful death this would be if that were to happen. But the guards saw them and they beat them down with their staffs. The guards hit Langaha and Purana on their hands and on their feet viciously over and over again before grabbing them and bringing them back to the gate. Guru Arjan spoke out to them saying, "Why are you so angry? Stay seated. Why are you taking these beatings? This is all happening according to our will." Purana then replied saying, "We cannot bear you to see you suffer this way. Please accept our lives instead. Take us so that you may spare yourself." Guru Arjan then replied saying, "Just do as we wish then. Understand that this is the game. This is my play. So sit and watch." The foundry worker continued to pour on the hot sand on Guru Arjan. But Guru Arjan didn't move at all. He didn't react in the slightest. Guru Arjan, who created the 14 worlds, how could this minuscule heat from the sand affect him? Guru Arjan wasn't flinching. He wasn't moving because of the pain. He was just in unmovable position, sitting there bearing it all. not saying anything. And more hot sand was poured over Guru Arjan, but he didn't say anything. He didn't want Chandu to think that he was performing a miracle, so he himself made blisters appear on his body. And this continued for 6 hours. Chandu had no fear in his heart for what he was doing. Guru Arjan showed the world the extent to which he could bear the unbearable. No one has ever bared this type of suffering in the world before. All the demigods, Indra and the other gods, came down from heaven hearing about this. They were in shock. They bowed down and said, Blessed are you, Guru Arjan. There is truly no one like you. They all bowed down and then they left back to their abode, speaking among themselves about the Guru's greatness all along the way. So this is how the second day passed. Chandu then went back to his room, and Guru Arjan was taken back to where he was seated. His entire body had blisters, and he made the curse of the Bhagat Kanna come to life. During the night, Gorakhnath and the 84 Siddhs, the famed eternal yogis, came with him. They approached Guru Arjan Dev Ji. As they got there, with their powers, they made all the guards fall unconscious. And when they got to Guru Arjan, they said, Ades, Ades is a salutation for yogis. They stood up in front of Guru Arjan. They said to him, you truly have firm faith. You are unshakable. You can bear the unbearable. Even though you could destroy them, you have bared this pain. And no one is equal to you. All of us saw this injustice and we are in shock. With such burning sand they poured over you, and you're still unshakable. You could destroy the entire world with just one word, yet you're holding true to your nature of forgiveness, have decided not to destroy them. But now that we're here, let us turn this sinner's house upside down. Let him get the fruit of his actions so that no other saint in the world would experience such pain. Let us make an example out of him. Otherwise, the wicked ones like Chandu, they'll just get arrogant and they'll do this type of injustice again and again, tormenting the saints. Listening to this, Guru Arjan then responded saying, firstly, real saints have no fear in their mind. I don't play that type of game. I have no desire to bring pain to anyone else. Whatever is meant to happen will happen. This is what I have faith in. And this is the mindset of true saints. So you guys should all go, leave now, and don't be worried about the death of your own body. Listening to this, they all said, Blessed are you, Guru Arjan. And then they all took off. At that point, Muslim peers, who were really accomplished and known for their ability to perform miracles, they all came and bowed down to Guru Arjan. Standing in front of the Guru, they then said, why are you enduring so much pain? We'll destroy these wicked people like Chandu right here. Just give us the word. Guru Arjan then replied to them, saying, in great respect, why are you looking at the world with such duality, seeing things and people as different from the source? Understand that there is only one self. That is the real truth of the world. Understand that multiplicity that you see in the world is false and is illusionary. For me, I'm just meant to leave my body in this way. There are many reasons why this is the case, and the time has come. I've understood this. And I'm making all the statements about the end of my life come true. So here Guru Arjan is alluding to the statements made by Guru Nanak, who said that he would take back the blessings to Babur that he gave, that if they practiced injustice, that the Guru's house would give their life to take that blessing back. Also, he's talking about the blessing given by Guru Amar Das to Bibi Pani, about the lineage of Gurus within Bibi Pani's house, that if he gave her this blessing, that the Guru's house would have to bear great suffering. Also, he's talking about a curse given by Baba Siddhi Chand and Bhagat Kanna. So Guru Arjan is saying that he's making all of these statements come true. And Guru Arjan tells them, go back to your places and understand this to be my play and not to interrupt it. So the peers then all said, "Blessed, blessed are you, Guru Arjan," and then they also left. And at that point, the guards then regained consciousness and spoke amongst themselves, saying, "Whoa, if the boss, Chandu, over there found out, he'd have us killed for sleeping." And they quickly ran towards Guru Arjan, where he was held, to see if he was still sitting there, and they were quite relieved to see that Guru Arjan was still sitting there. So the night passed, and in the morning, Chandu got up, and he was thinking how disciplined and resolute Guru Arjan was, that he didn't shake at all during this torture, and how he didn't accept the wedding proposal. So he thought that today he would place Guru Arjan on a red hot iron plate, and at that point Guru Arjan would agree to the marriage proposal. So the sinner Chandu was thinking about this and had his guards go grab a very large iron plate, and they placed wood, and they started a fire under it to heat it up. They made it red hot, and at that point the sinner Chandu then called over Guru Arjan, and he said to the Guru, "Go ahead and stand on this iron plate. Otherwise, accept the marriage proposal." Guru Arjan didn't reply at all, and he himself got on the iron plate. In such a vicious act, even the most vicious and vile people would have yelled out in anguish watching this injustice. And Guru Arjan stood on the plate and sat down, and the Sikhs watching this, they were beyond themselves in pain watching their Guru go through this. They wanted to go over and help the Guru, but they were bound up in chains. The fire god Agni itself was ashamed, and it reversed its own nature, making sure that it didn't burn Guru Arjan. But even then, the souls of Guru Arjan were extremely burnt. And Chandu, the idiot, the sinner, was standing there watching all of this. And he had more and more wood added to the fire to make the fire hotter, hoping that Guru Arjan would then agree to the proposal, but Guru Arjan didn't respond at all. Guru Arjan's own intention was not to show off that he possessed powers and abilities such that he was not getting burned, so he himself had blisters and burns appear on his body at that point. Guru Arjan sat on this red plate for 3 hours before getting off the plate. Chandu didn't know what to do at this point. Guru Arjan didn't agree to anything. He was unfazed by all of this. He wasn't afraid at all. He was thinking about a new strategy to scare and torture Guru Arjan, which would freak him out and which would get him to agree to the proposal. So Chandu thought to himself that Guru Arjan, above all, loves dharam. He loves righteousness, even more than his own life. And because of this, he would perhaps be afraid to lose his dharam more than his life. So Chandu then told his guards to go kill a cow and bring back the hide of that dead cow. He was going to sew up Guru Arjan in the hide of this dead cow. And as the hide would then dry up, it would tighten, and it would slowly then suffocate and crush Guru Arjan to death. And this is a torture technique that has been documented at that time, was used in Jahangir's reign. Chandu then told this to Guru Arjan, that this was his plan for the next day, and then he went home for the night. It was extremely dark evening that night, and in the middle of the night, Chandu's daughter-in-law came back to see Guru Arjan. She wanted to see how Guru Arjan was holding up, so she went there where the guards were and then bribed them again with some gold jewelry. As she approached Guru Arjan, she said, "O Master, I am truly vile for being in this family, which has given you so much pain. They won't listen to me at all. What's best for me right now is for me to just die." Guru Arjan then heard this and replied, saying, "O daughter, you are not meant for this house. And in the morning, I'm getting ready to leave my body, and if you wish, you should come with me to the afterlife." The daughter-in-law then replied, saying, "Please let me know if there's anything I can do to serve you. You've blessed me greatly. I will indeed end my life tomorrow as well, to go with you in the afterlife." Guru Arjan then responded, saying, "I don't want anything at all, do not worry, but please at this time go back to your house and do as you wish." So the daughter-in-law left with this firm faith in her mind that she too would leave her body tomorrow morning. And so the night passed, and the morning came. Guru Arjan remained sitting in the same way all night, In the whole city, there was a massive uproar. Everybody was protesting and yelling out for support against Chandu. They would come time and time again to the gate of Chandu's house, but the soldiers would then beat them off in a way. They didn't know the atrocities that were occurring inside the house, and they had no idea what was happening to the other 5-6 as well. The 6 would get together and discuss what was going on, and they would say things like, Chandu must be vile, he must be up to something. Since Guru Arjan was in their house, we haven't heard them, we haven't seen them at all. Nothing has worked for us, no one is listening to our pleas at all. The emperor is not here, his high ministers are not here to complain to either. So day and night, the Sikh congregation was talking like this amongst themselves. They couldn't even go to work, they couldn't even eat during all of this because they were too upset, they were too worried what was happening. They were thinking that this sinner, Chandu, for a long time had been slandering Guru Arjan to the authorities, to Jahangir, to the high ministers. But because secretly he wanted the marriage proposal to go ahead between his daughter and Guru Arjan's son. And now that Guru Arjan was under his control, maybe it would be best for Guru Arjan to just agree, and so that he is released. Chandu woke up in the morning, how he was thinking that Guru Arjan loves, above all, dharam, righteousness, and that one perhaps successful way of torturing Guru would be to get him to agree to the marriage proposal would be to scare him through this method, proposing that he would be sewn up in a cowhide if he didn't agree to the marriage proposal. And if he still refuses, then it would just be best to have him killed slowly through this method. So Chandu approaches Guru Arjan and tells him of this plan. Guru Arjan then replies, "At this time, I want to go bathe in the river Ravi. Let the 5-6 come with me as well. I've been here for 5 days without bathing. You've been torturing me during this time. Let me go cleanse my body, and I'll come back with a firm decision." Listening to this, Chandu was surprised and overjoyed. He was like, okay, he must be scared now that he's going to lose his dharam because he'll be wrapped up in this cowhide. So I've scared him, and he's going to go cleanse himself. He's going to come back, and he's going to agree to the marriage proposal. So Chandu's thinking this, and he agrees. He sends 10 guards with Guru Arjan and the 5-6 to take him to the river. They are armed with a shield and a sword. He tells the guards to keep the 6 and Guru Arjan in their field of view. Make sure no one else from outside comes to speak to them. Don't go anywhere else. Just go straight to the river and then come back. So Guru Arjan begins to get up. He walks towards the 5-6. His entire body is covered all over in massive blisters. But he had taken a large blanket and he was covering his body with this. The soles of his feet were completely burnt, and he's slowly walking because of this. When he gets toward the Sikh Prana, Guru Arjan holds Prana's shoulder to aid him in walking. And as they're walking towards the river Ravi, few people see Guru Arjan and they bow down. But Guru Arjan's face is completely burnt and red. For 5 days, Guru Arjan hadn't eaten anything. He hasn't drank anything. He's been at Chandu's house for 5 days because he got there the evening of the first night. He didn't eat anything that night, drink anything. He didn't sleep. And then following that first night, the next day marked the first day of torture, and there were 3 full days of torture. So now we are on the 5th day. So the people who just happened to be walking around saw Guru Arjan. They were in shock, seeing the state that Guru Arjan was in. But Guru Arjan, on the other hand, was just in that one pointed focus on the divine, drenched in that bliss of that state. Just like he was even before he got to Chandu's house. It had not affected his mindset at all. The pain of his body didn't make his mind shake at all, just like the largest mountains in the world never move. So slowly they got to the river Ravi, which had extremely cold water at this time. Guru Arjan then used this water to clean his mouth, clean his hands. One of the Sikhs at that time, Langaha, he washed the Guru's feet before Guru Arjan himself then walked into the river to bathe. Guru Arjan then got out of the river and then dried himself. He then sat down, and with great love he recited Japji Sahib. The other 5 Sikhs then at that time, they went to go bathe. While they were bathing, they were reciting Japji Sahib as well. They got out, they dried themselves. They stood around Guru Arjan. When he completed Japji Sahib, they all bowed their heads. And then Guru Arjan said to the 5-6, I now desire to go to the afterlife. We've done exactly what we wanted to. You should now go to Amritsar and meet with the exalted Hargobind. Comfort him on our behalf. Tell him not to be sad, but to sing the praises of the divine. Instruct him to take away the pain from others as well. He should adorn weapons now and sit and rule upon the throne, the Takat. To the fullest extent of his abilities, he should raise an army. His first job is to enact revenge on Chandu. Make sure he has a terrible death. Just drench him in pain. He should call the descendants from Guru Amar Das's family and perform the Tikka ceremony, the Guruship ceremony in front of everyone. Like Baba Buddha Ji and the other senior Sikhs, have them there, perform the ceremony just like we've done in the past. But start a new tradition within the community of warfare. But other than this, keep all the other previous traditions within the Guru's house. You are not to perform a cremation of my body, but rather send me down this river. In seeing this river Ravi, you will see me. So when you send us down this river, keep my head pointing north and my feet south. At that point, a Rababi just happened to be walking by, and Guru Arjan saw him, that he was walking by, and that he had an instrument in his hand. He had a dotara. A dotara is a small type of guitar, type of ukulele instrument, which just has 2 strings. If you YouTube dotar, you'll find some videos of it. So this Rababi was walking along, and Guru Arjan called him, saying, "Oh Rababi, come perform kirtan. Sit alongside this beautiful river and play for us." So the Rababi immediately recognized Guru Arjan, bowed down, and started to sing Gurbani very beautifully. And at this point, all the gods in heaven recognized that Guru Arjan was preparing to head to the afterlife, and they all readied themselves and come down to greet the great Guru. They all got on their vehicles and traveled down shouting, "Victory, victory to the Guru." Gorakhnath and the Siddhs, the yogis, they came along as well with the Muslim peers. They all came, and they were all excited that Guru Arjan would be passing through their abodes in heaven to travel to the highest of heavens in the afterlife. They all among themselves were praising Guru Arjan along the way. And at that time, Guru Arjan requested someone to bring salt reed grass. Salt reed grass is a type of grass used in South Asia for rituals. The Buddha is mentioned to have meditated upon it when he got enlightenment. And in the Gita, Krishna mentions it as a good grass to sit on for meditation. So the Sikhs went and they brought it from some Brahmin's house. They had laid out this salt reed grass on the ground and placed a sheet on top of it. Guru Arjan laid on the sheet, and then the Sikhs placed another sheet on top of Guru Arjan's body. And at this time, the Devtas, the gods, they sounded off their drums and horns to mark the departure of Guru Arjan from this world to the next. They were throwing flowers, they were spreading incense, they were doing arti, a devotional worship towards Guru Arjan, shouting out, "Victory, victory to Guru Arjan." The whole sky went red, and everyone in the city was astonished by this. Chandu's daughter looked into the sky. She saw that it went red, and she took it as a sign that Guru Arjan was passing away, and just immediately she also passed away. No one in her household understood why that death occurred. And at that time, Guru Arjan then left this world on a craft with the Devtas, the gods, into the heavens. All the Devtas followed along with Guru Arjan, and whenever they reached their abode in the heavens, they bowed down and let Guru Arjan continue further higher into the heavens. Eventually, everyone had reached their limit, and Guru Arjan continued on further and further into the highest of all heavens, where he there resided. For many days, the Devtas continued to talk and praise Guru Arjan, speaking about his stories, saying that no one else is equal to Guru Arjan. Not before, not now, and never in the future. So back by the river Ravi, the 5-6 were standing there crying, knowing that Guru Arjan had left his body. Jetha, one of the Sikhs, then asked the Rababi to sing Rag Vadhans. And back in Chandu's house, he was sitting there wondering why it was taking so long and why Guru Arjan and the Sikhs hadn't come back. So he got up and he went towards the river. And he saw Guru Arjan's body that was laying there on the ground, and there was a blanket over him. So Chandu thought, oh, Guru Arjan hasn't slept in 5 days, so he's taking this opportunity to get a nap in. So he walks towards the Sikhs, saying things like, oh, so you're taking this time to sleep? Bidichan just couldn't handle it. He yells back at Chandu saying, while he's crying, oh, you sinner Chandu, you've done the worst sin, and this sin is now resting over your head. Guru Arjan has passed away due to your vile actions. But now, you won't be spared by us, no matter what you try. Chandu heard this and he was pissed scared, so he just ran back home at this point. When he got back to his house, he saw everybody was crying there, and they had told him that his daughter-in-law had passed away. No one really knew why or how this had happened. Back at the riverbanks, the news of Guru Arjan passing now spread through the city of Lahore, and everybody was coming and they're running from their houses. It was then known to the congregation how Chandu had orchestrated the torture and how Guru Arjan had passed away. There were many Sikhs that came running, and there was quite a large gathering now by the riverbank. And Bidichan had told everybody about the plan for Guru Arjan's funeral rites, how they would not do the cremation, how they would send the body down the river instead. And this was what the Guru wished. And how then the Guru said that if you view the river, it is the same as having my darshan, my sight. So all the Sikhs who heard the news, they were all grief-struck. Some were reciting Japji Sahib, some were reciting Guru Guru, some were praising Guru Arjan for his resilience, and some were swearing at the idiot Chandu, cursing him. Meanwhile, some Sikhs were getting Guru Arjan's casket, if you will, ready. They had decorated it all over with flowers. They had silk fabric. Sikhs were waving a whisk over Guru Arjan's body, and incense was lit all around as well. Some were blowing conch shells. Other instruments were being played as well by the Rababi. They all went along the riverbank to where it was deepest. They took Guru Arjan's body. Bidichan, Jetha, Langaha, Pirana, the 4 Sikhs there, they held the casket from each corner and they walked into the river and they floated the body down the river. And at that point, the Devta of the oceans, the god of the oceans, Varan Devta, he took Guru Arjan's body, worshipping it. He then hid the body in the water within itself. So the body then disappeared. The 5 Sikhs then came out of the river. By Jetha then said to everybody that this is what Guru Arjan wanted. He wanted to be floated down the river. Then all the Sikhs got together in one of the local gurdwaras. They all began to cry. They had brought that Rababi that performed Kirtan, and he performed Kirtan there at the Gurdwara. The entire congregation was so grief-struck though. Nobody even ate that whole day. And the 5 Sikhs, they stayed in that Gurdwara that day. They couldn't sleep all night. And the next morning they went back to that river, to the bank where Guru Arjan had left his body, and they bathed there before taking off to Amritsar. They came back to Amritsar so disheartened, distraught, like warriors coming back to their villages after losing a battle. They were worried about what they would say to Mata Ganga, the wife of Guru Arjan, how they would tell the young Hargobind about what happened. They were thinking, like, what will we say to them? So they were thinking about this as they were entering Amritsar with tears in their eyes. They went where the exalted Hargobind was seated. They bowed down. The young Hargobind was counting the days that his father had gone to Lahore and was awaiting their return, thinking about how glorious it'll be when his father Guru Arjan comes back to hold a divan, a court session with all the Sikh congregation, where everyone there has their bondage, has their sins from countless lifetimes removed, where the sadness of their hearts are replaced with bliss and happiness, and everyone has calmness instilled in their heart.
जाऊगा चढ़ के खालसे ना हारेगा पर ਕਰ ਲੈ ਲਾਲਾ ਮਰੇਗਾ, ਸ਼ਰਨ ਪਰੇਗਾ ਤੇ ਤਰੇਗਾ, ਗੱਜ ਗੱਜ ਕਰਾ ਜਾਵੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਅਰਜਨ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਮਨ ਭਾਵੇ ਨਿਹਾਲ ਹੋ ਜਾਵੇ।